I think we're recording. Hey, Bobby, I got a question for you. I appreciate you coming down here and offering to buy me a McDonald's burger.
Okay, great.
But I have a question for you. I came up here from Iowa, and we're in Minnesota.
Yep.
And I'm helping you. I've been helping with your taxes now for 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
What I want to know is how come? Why is it that I'm up here instead of somebody that could be 5 miles away from you? Why do you keep asking the 1040 company to help you with your taxes?
Because I was extremely unhappy with the accountants that we found within a 5-mile radius, let alone a 50-mile radius. We'd go in and ask questions and we wouldn't get any answers. We knew we were probably paying too much for our taxes, and we couldn't get any help as to what we should be doing, how we should be doing it. So I asked around and happened to get your name from another client, gave you a call, and you said, absolutely, we'll meet and talk, and you asked me more questions in the first 5 minutes that I talked to you than I think I had accountants ask me in 5 years of working with them.
Well, so why did you ask any specific questions of accountants, or did you just wait for them to ask you stuff? I mean, what were you expecting when you went to these that you didn't get?
Well, I guess to start out with, I was expecting a little bit of guidance because we had a new business, and so it was basic questions as to, okay, when we buy equipment, how do we write it off or depreciate it, or when should we be buying equipment? When's the best time to buy equipment? Things like that you hear about in the field, but couldn't get any answers to. There was just no guidance whatsoever.
Well, how were you able to, when I came up here and visited with you, I know I really enjoyed working with you guys right away, but I'm kind of like that, I like people, I love, meeting new people and all that stuff. But why did I'm a total stranger. I show up from nowhere, and you invite me into your home, you feed me coffee. In fact, I remember the first time I went in, I helped you spill coffee on yourself.
Yes, you did.
Knocking on the door, But you didn't know me from nothing. What was it that made you feel confident? I don't know.
Your reputation.
My reputation. What did you hear about me?
That you were just very good with helping your clients preserve their cash.
So, more specific, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I guess maybe I will anyway. But would you say that the help might have come from understanding the tax forms a little better?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I learned more about taxes in my first meeting with you than I learned in 3 years of doing books for my husband and dealing with the accountants. I think we overpaid 1 year $25,000, and after you audited our taxes, we found out we completely overpaid that, and there was no reason for it. Our accountant should have caught the fact that they overstated our income twice by double counting some things.
Well, and you didn't have any. I remember us going through that, and I remember us looking at it, seeing it, and everything. As I recall, we found some things that could have been deducted also.
Absolutely.
That weren't deducted. Now,
yep.
And you were working, and I'm not trying to badmouth the accounting world and all that stuff, and I'm not trying to make somebody else look bad so that we look better. But something, though, why were you confident enough from a total stranger telling you that you could do something? How was it that you were confident enough to go ahead and do it?
Because when I asked you, you would go and show me on the IRS website or in the publications themselves where I could find that information.
So have you been able to use it over and over again then?
Absolutely.
Keep using it over, so it's not, you learn a little bit of something about your taxes, and
yep.
Next year you can use the same strategy again.
And now I know that when I have an opportunity to put, an expense could be in one category versus another, I know which category I'm going to get a better deduction out of, and that it's not illegal for it, but that it could be either or.
Okay.
And so that helps me out.
Well, I appreciate, you've you've given us about 5 minutes here, so we won't keep on going. But thank you. So if you were going to if you knew of someone who was frustrated about their taxes or were felt like that they were getting the short end of the stick or something like that, I mean, what would you say to them? I mean, is it the end of the world? I mean, is it to not give up? What would you say to somebody who was totally frustrated and just pissed off?
I would tell them to give you a call. Because I think I went through 4 or 5 accountants before we ran across you, and I think each one of them maybe lasted a year that we worked with them, and we were just so unhappy and not pleased, and we've been with you for 5 years, so I think that says a lot right there.
Here's a really off-the-wall one. What do you reckon it costs you to not know what you could do? What do you think? And just a short period of time, that 3-4 year period, that you tried to do the books with the kind of help you had?
Over $50,000.
I think we better quit this right now. But thank you very much, Bobby. The Norwegian jewel I see on you. That's appropriate. We appreciate. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and
no problem.
Greatly appreciated. You have a super day.
Bye.